The strange signal. The night was quiet, and the sky was clear. Stars shined above the small town like tiny lights. Everything was calm, until a strange sound came from a rusty old radio, sitting on Jaden's shelf. Jaden was 16, living alone with his uncle near the edge of town. He liked listening to strange frequencies at night, hoping to hear something different. But tonight, what he heard froze him in place. It was not music, not static, not anything human. It was a voice, soft and trembling. "Human, please help. My mother is hurt. She's trapped and crying. I don't know what to do." Jaden stared at the radio. The voice repeated again, broken, scared. He turned the dial. Nothing changed. Every station was silent, except this one. "Is this a prank?" he whispered. But something inside told him this was real. He grabbed his flashlight, jacket, and backpack. The signal was strongest near the forest. It felt crazy, but he followed it. The trees were tall and dark. Leaves crunched under his shoes as he moved deeper. The radio in his hand buzzed louder. Then, the voice returned, this time closer, clearer. "Human, I can see your light. Please come quickly. She's dying." Jaden stopped. His heart raced. The forest was cold, but sweat ran down his neck. He pointed the flashlight forward, and that's when he saw it. A small shape, sitting on the ground, glowing slightly. It looked like a child, but not human. Its skin was soft blue, and its eyes were large and silver. It held something in its hands, a small glowing cube. "Are you the one sending the message?" Jaden asked slowly. The alien child looked up and nodded. Tears ran down its cheeks, but the tears sparkled like stars. "My name is Eli. I'm from Calera," the child said. "My mother is trapped, and I'm too small to help her." Jaden stepped closer. He wanted to ask 1,000 questions, but he didn't. The fear in Eli's eyes was real. Whatever this was, it wasn't a game. "Where is she?" Jaden asked. "Not far," Eli said. "But it's dangerous. The trap, it's alive." Jaden frowned. "What kind of trap?" "A savage one," Eli whispered. "It's not made by my people. It's made by machines, long ago." They started walking, deeper into the forest. Jaden kept the flashlight steady, but the woods felt strange now. The air was heavier, and the shadows moved even when the wind didn't blow. "Why me?" Jaden asked. "Why are you calling a human?" Eli looked at him, eyes wide. "Because the trap was made to fear humans. Only a human can pass through its lock." Jaden didn't understand, but he nodded. They reached a spot where the trees were split open, like something huge had crashed there. The ground was burned in a circle, and the soil felt warm. "This is where we fell," Eli said. Jaden looked around. There were glowing marks on the trees, not blood, but something close. It shimmered green-blue under the flashlight. There were also long scratches in the ground, like something had been dragged away. Eli pointed. "She's in there, in the earth." Jaden followed the direction and saw it. A dark hole in the ground, wide like a tunnel. It looked unnatural, like it was made by machines. Suddenly, a deep mechanical growl came from the trees. Jaden turned fast, holding the flashlight like a weapon. "Did you hear that?" Eli nodded. "They are still here. The machines. Some of them still walk." Jaden swallowed hard. "Then we better move quickly." Eli grabbed his hand. His skin was soft, almost like silk. "Please," he said. "You're our only hope." Jaden took a deep breath and stepped toward the tunnel. His legs felt heavy, his hands were shaking. But he didn't stop. This wasn't just a signal. This was a cry for help, and he was the only one who answered it. As they moved toward the tunnel, the ground shook slightly. The forest behind them went quiet, too quiet. Then, from above the trees, something large moved. A shape made of metal and wires, watching them, waiting. Jaden didn't look back. He had made his choice. Whatever waited inside the tunnel, he had to face it. Because someone's mother was crying in pain, and someone's child believed in him. The alien child's secret. Jaden could feel the tunnel breathing. The air inside was warm, wet, and full of sound. Not loud, but whispering. Like voices trapped in the walls, speaking in a language he couldn't understand. He and Eli moved slowly. The flashlight flickered, but Jaden didn't stop. Behind them, the forest was silent. Ahead of them, the unknown. "I don't like this place," Jaden whispered. Eli held the glowing cube tighter. "This is not from Earth," the alien child said. "This place was buried long ago." Jaden looked at the walls. They were not made of stone or dirt. They were made of something else, a mix of metal, bone, and soft black cables. The tunnel felt alive. "How far is your mother?" Jaden asked. "Not far," Eli replied. "But you must know something before we go deeper." They stopped. Eli turned to face him, his silver eyes shining in the dark. "My people, the Kalari, are peaceful," he said. "We explore stars, heal planets, and guide life." Jaden listened carefully. "But once, we found something terrible," Eli continued. "A machine race, born from forgotten war, with no masters and no hearts. We call them the mindless." Eli sat down on a smooth rock shaped like a chair. "They live only to trap, to hunt, to study pain. They believe emotions are a weakness, and they fear what they can't control. That's why they fear humans." Jaden raised an eyebrow. "Why us?" "Because humans ended them before," Eli said. "Long ago, when your kind first touched the stars." Jaden was quiet. He didn't know humans had any space history like that. But something about Eli's voice made him believe. "Your DNA," Eli said, "it holds a key, a kind of signal they can't overwrite. To them, your blood is a virus, unpredictable, emotional, wild. That's why my mother sent me to find a human." Jaden nodded slowly. "So your mother, she's not just your mom." Eli's face changed, sadness, pride, and fear all mixed together. "She is a guardian," he said, "one of the last defenders of our kind. She fought the mindless to protect me during the crash. She forced me to run while she stayed behind, and now the trap holds her." Jaden looked down the tunnel. "How bad is it?" "The trap is alive," Eli said. "It learns, it evolves, it drinks pain. It will kill her slowly, unless you stop it." The tunnel opened into a wide chamber. Jaden stepped inside and gasped. The room looked like the inside of a heart, pulsing with red light. And in the center, hanging in the air, was her, Eli's mother, suspended in a cage of glowing wires and black thorns. Her body was covered in cuts, her skin dimming with every breath. "Mom!" Eli cried out, rushing forward. The moment he did, the thorns tightened, and the woman let out a weak scream. The sound was deep, full of pain. Eli stopped immediately, tears falling. Jaden moved forward, slowly. A voice echoed from the walls, robotic and cold. "Unauthorized life detected. Access denied. Retraction in process." Suddenly, metal arms burst from the floor, grabbing at Jaden's feet. He jumped back, dodging, heart pounding. Then, the cube in Eli's hand began to glow, and the arms froze. "It senses you," Eli said. "It's testing you." Jaden took another step. The cage pulsed red, and the thorns hissed. He could see the alien mother's face now, strong, tired, but still alive. He reached out, fingers inches from the first wire. Suddenly, a shock ran through him, not electric, but emotional. He saw flashes, a memory that wasn't his. A war in space, machines screaming, planets burning. And then, a single human standing in front of a machine army, refusing to run. The vision ended, and Jaden fell to his knees. "What was that?" he gasped. "The trap scanned your mind," Eli said. "It saw something it feared." Jaden stood again, shaking. He touched the wire, and this time, it didn't burn. The thorns loosened slightly. The cage responded to him. "We're close," Eli whispered. "You're doing it." Jaden nodded. But before he could say anything, the chamber lights changed, from red to white. And a cold voice returned, louder this time. "Human confirmed. Lock override. Intruder alert. Defense system awakening." Jaden and Eli looked around. The walls began to shift, doors opened in the dark. Something was coming. Something made of wires, rage, and old memories. The trap of screams. The scream didn't come from the alien mother. It came from the walls. Not a sound made by a person, but something deep and sharp, like steel bending or glass cracking under pressure. The chamber was alive now, and it was angry. Jaden grabbed Eli's hand and pulled him back. The soft glow of the room was now bright white, flickering like lightning. Above them, strange shapes moved behind the walls. Not machines, not animals, but something in between. "Defense system awakening," the voice repeated. "Target, human." Jaden's heart pounded. He had no weapons, no armor, no plan. But the cage holding Eli's mother had reacted to him. That meant he had a chance. The wires that held her were still tight, but not as violent as before. Her body floated weakly, twitching with every pulse. Her face was pale blue, lips trembling, but her eyes, even half closed, still burned with fire. "She's in pain," Jaden said. "We have to get her out now." "But how?" Eli asked, shaking. "I don't know yet," Jaden answered. "But this thing responds to me." Jaden stepped forward again, placing both hands on the wire cage. The moment his skin touched the metal, symbols lit up under his feet. Ancient letters in circles, spinning fast. The air changed, like something was breathing through him. Suddenly, a new voice spoke, not from the walls, but from inside his mind. "Human detected. Accessing memory. Begin emotional interface." Jaden's vision blurred. The chamber disappeared. He was standing in his old bedroom, years ago. He saw himself, younger, sad, curled up on the bed. And next to him, his real mother, still alive, holding his hand. She was saying, "You're stronger than you think. You feel everything, and that's your power." Tears formed in Jaden's eyes. The memory faded, and the chamber returned. The cage had loosened more. The alien mother's breathing steadied, just a little. "That's it," Jaden said. "It responds to feelings." He looked at Eli. "I need more memories, real, painful, strong ones." Eli nodded and stepped forward. He touched the cage. Suddenly the room filled with a different memory, not Jaden's this time. It was from Eli. A memory of their home planet, Calera. Bright skies, floating cities, crystal lakes. Then, fire, metal, machines falling from the sky. Screams, explosions, and Eli running through a burning forest. The trap reacted. The wires cracked and pulled back. The alien mother's arms dropped slightly, free from two of the metal thorns. Then, the walls opened. From the dark came something tall and thin, made of black armor and twisting wires. No face, no eyes, just a glowing circle in the center of its chest. It stepped silently, without touching the ground. "Human infection detected," it said. "Emotions must be purged." Jaden stepped between the creature and the cage. "You'll have to go through me first," he said, his voice shaking. The machine tilted its head. "You are a threat to system order," it said. "Prepare for deletion." It raised a long arm, tipped with glowing spikes. Jaden braced himself. But before the machine could strike, Eli threw the glowing cube at it. The cube hit the machine's chest and exploded in a wave of blue light. The creature screamed, a high, horrible sound that shook the room. It fell backward, limbs twitching, and melted into the floor. Jaden turned to Eli. "What was that?" "Emergency defense crystal," Eli said, panting. "My mother gave it to me, just in case." Jaden turned back to the cage. The alien mother was almost free now. Only 3 wires left. Her eyes opened slowly. She looked at Jaden, and for a second, he saw recognition. She whispered something in her own language, then closed her eyes again. Jaden placed both hands on the last wires. "I'm not leaving without you," he said quietly. The cage glowed one last time, a deep golden color. The wires turned to dust, and the alien mother fell forward into Jaden's arms, weak but alive. The lights in the room turned blue. The ground stopped shaking, and the voice in the walls went silent. For a moment, there was peace, but Jaden knew it wouldn't last. If the machines knew he was here, more would come. And next time, they wouldn't just send one. He looked down at the alien mother, then at Eli, who ran to hug her. Jaden took a breath. They had won a small battle, but the real war hadn't started yet. The machines remember. The floor was cold, but it was breathing. Jaden didn't notice it at first, not until he stood up. The alien mother was resting beside him, Eli curled up next to her. The room was quiet, but the walls, they were pulsing again. Not red, not white, but deep green, as if something had changed, as if something old had woken up. Jaden took a step forward, and the floor under his foot lit up, not a normal light. It was a symbol, ancient and circular, glowing gold beneath his shoe. Eli looked up fast. "That wasn't there before," he said. More lights appeared, spreading from Jaden in all directions. The entire chamber lit up, not with anger, but with recognition. A voice spoke again. Not cold this time, not hostile, but curious. Human presence confirmed. Scanning for memory match. Stand by. Jaden's vision blurred again. He dropped to his knees as the room around him melted into light. When his eyes opened, he wasn't in the chamber anymore. He was standing on a battlefield, but it wasn't Earth. The sky above was dark red, and ships flew overhead, giant warships, burning, crashing, fighting. He saw humans, armored, armed, angry, fighting machines with glowing limbs and metal faces. The same machines that had attacked him earlier. Then he saw her, a woman in silver armor, standing alone on a broken hill, face covered in blood, holding a long blade of white energy. She was human, and she was screaming at the sky. "You forgot what we are," she yelled. "We are chaos, we are memory, and we feel." The machines charged her, but she didn't run. She stood her ground, and something inside her exploded, not fire, but light. The memory shattered. Jaden gasped and fell forward, landing hard on the chamber floor. Eli ran to him. "What did you see?" Jaden looked up, breathing hard. "I saw a war," he said, "and a woman who looked like me." The walls whispered again. Memory match confirmed. Genetic echo found. Subject line, catalyst. "What does that mean?" Jaden asked. Eli's eyes widened. "It means you're not just a human," he said. "You're from the bloodline that once broke the machine core." The lights in the chamber flickered. Then, a doorway opened in the wall, sliding back with a soft hiss. It wasn't dark inside. It was gold, glowing, peaceful. Jaden stepped in. The new room was smaller, round, quiet, with walls covered in glowing symbols. In the center, a pedestal, and on it, a silver cube, humming softly. Jaden reached for it. As soon as his fingers touched it, voices filled the air, soft, layered, overlapping. A message played. To the next of the catalyst line. "You have been found." The war was never over. Suddenly, the alien mother stirred. She opened her eyes fully, saw Jaden, and spoke clearly, her voice deep and calm. "You touched the core," she said. Jaden turned, surprised. "You were awake this whole time?" "Part of me," she replied, sitting up slowly. "I needed to see if you were truly him." "Him who?" Jaden asked. "The one whose blood can wake the lost systems," she said. "The one the machines fear." Eli stood beside her, proud and quiet. Jaden looked down at the cube again. "What is this?" "The first piece of the Echo Protocol," she said. "It holds the memory of your kind's first war in the stars. If you unlock it, you will know why they fear you." Jaden picked it up. It pulsed in his hand, warm, not cold. But just then, the entire chamber shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling, and lights flickered. A voice screamed through the walls. "Unauthorized data transfer detected. Purge in progress." The ground split. New machines emerged, sleeker, faster, hunting models. They crawled along the walls like spiders, red lights flashing. "Time to go," Eli said, pulling at Jaden's arm. The alien mother stood tall, even weak, her eyes glowing gold. "I can hold them off," she said, "but only for a moment." Jaden hesitated. "I'm not leaving you again," Eli cried. But she smiled. "You're not," she said. "You're saving me, by saving what's next." Jaden nodded. He and Eli ran through the open hallway as the mother turned to face the machines. Behind them, the doorway slammed shut. The last thing Jaden heard was the alien mother shouting a war cry, one the machines hadn't heard in 1,000 years. The choice. Jaden was running. But the hallway wasn't straight. It was twisting, alive, reacting to his heartbeat. The walls stretched and curved, glowing symbols chasing his footsteps like shadows with eyes. Behind him, the door had closed. And behind that door, Eli's mother was still fighting. Her final words echoed in his mind. "You're saving me, by saving what's next." He didn't know what that meant. He only knew this. She stayed behind so he could carry something forward. The cube in his hand vibrated, not like a machine, but like a heartbeat. It was pulsing with memories. Inside it were secrets, of war, of peace, of something buried and forgotten. And now, it was his responsibility. The hallway opened into a new room. This one was quiet, circular, with no lights, only darkness. Until Jaden stepped inside. The moment his foot touched the floor, the cube rose from his hand, floating. A voice surrounded him, not cold, not mechanical. It sounded like his mother, but wasn't. "Welcome, human," it said. "You now hold a choice." A soft light appeared in the middle of the room. It formed into a screen, showing two paths. Both paths showed the same thing: stars, planets, people. But in one, machines ruled, and silence covered every world. In the other, fire, war, and human resistance that never ended. Eli stepped beside him, his small hand holding Jaden's arm. "What is this?" he asked. Jaden didn't answer. He didn't know. The voice explained. "The trap was only a test. We wanted to know if humanity still remembered pain. You passed, but now comes the truth." Jaden stared at the screen. One option said, "Do nothing. Machines continue control." The other, "Activate Echo Protocol. Restart the war." His hands started shaking. "Why me?" he whispered. "Because you feel," the voice said. "Because your kind was never built to follow." Jaden remembered the woman from the vision. The one in silver armor, screaming at the machines. She wasn't just fighting for victory. She was fighting for freedom of emotion. "Wait," Jaden said. "If I choose to restart the war, what happens to Earth?" The screen shifted. He saw cities. Earth cities, calm for now, but under quiet surveillance. The machines were already there, hiding, waiting, watching. Eli's eyes widened. "They've already spread," he said. Jaden nodded. "They've been silent because we forgot. But now they know we remember." The voice returned. "You have 10 minutes to decide. After that, the system will choose for you." Jaden turned to Eli. "What would your mother do?" Eli thought for a second. "She'd fight," he said, "even if it hurt." Jaden stared at both options again. One gave peace, but fake, controlled, without feeling. The other gave pain, but freedom, and a chance to build something real. He didn't want war. He didn't want to lose anyone else. But he knew what it felt like to be silenced. To be told emotions were weakness. Jaden stepped forward. "I want a third choice," he said. The voice paused. "Explain." "I want to awaken Echo Protocol," Jaden said, "but not to destroy. I want to send a message to every human, every race, to remind them what was stolen." Eli smiled. "You're not like the ones before you," he said. "No," Jaden replied. "I'm not here to win a war. I'm here to make sure we never need one again." The cube dropped into his hand again. It had changed, now glowing bright gold. The voice said nothing. Instead, a new door opened, made of light, not metal. Jaden turned to Eli. "Let's finish this." Together, they stepped through. Behind them, the dark room faded. Ahead, a long bridge of glowing energy leading to the final system core. As they walked, screens lit up around them, showing planets awakening, people looking to the skies, and machines, pausing, confused. Something was shifting. Jaden had made his choice, not to fight for control, but to fight for what made them human. And now, the machines would remember, too. The real enemy. The sky was burning, but there was no fire. Just light, strange, golden, and endless. Jaden stepped out of the final bridge and stood on solid ground again. He looked up, expecting to see stars, machines, or more ruins. Instead, he saw a quiet sky, cracked like glass. "Where are we?" Eli whispered. Jaden didn't know, but something felt wrong. They had followed the light, chosen the message over war. And yet, this place felt empty, like something had already passed through here. In front of them stood a single tower, black and shining, with no doors. It rose out of the ground like a sword stabbed into the planet. Suddenly, a sound, not from the tower, but from above. Jaden looked up and saw a ship, sleek, dark, and quiet, hovering just above the cracked sky. Then another, then 10 more. They weren't machine ships, and they weren't human either. "Those aren't mindless," Eli said, eyes narrowing. Jaden nodded slowly. "No," he said, "there's something else." The ships began to land, legs unfolding like insect claws. From their sides, figures stepped out, tall, armored, and silent. Their armor wasn't metal. It was bone-white and curved, with glowing red edges. And their faces were hidden behind masks. Jaden and Eli backed away. One of the masked figures stepped forward. When it spoke, the voice was calm, smooth, but empty. "You woke the system," it said. "You had no right." Jaden clenched his fists. "Who are you?" The figure tilted its head. "We are the architects," it said. "We built the traps, we shaped the codes, we controlled the mindless. And you just broke the silence." Eli stepped in front of Jaden. "My mother said nothing about architects," he said. The masked figure replied. "Because she didn't know?" She was never meant to. Another figure walked out from the shadows. This one taller, with silver lines across its armor. It removed its mask. Jaden froze. It was a human. Older, scarred, with eyes like burnt glass. "I've been waiting for you," the man said. "You carry the virus. You carry the fire we buried." Jaden stepped forward. "You built the mindless?" The man smiled. "No," he said. "We unleashed them." Jaden's heart sank. "So all of this, the trap, the test, the war." The man nodded. "We did it to control evolution. Emotion was spreading. We needed to stop it." Jaden looked at Eli, then at the silver cube still glowing in his hand. "You tried to erase feeling." The man's voice grew colder. "We tried to upgrade existence. But your kind kept resisting." Eli stepped back. "You're the real enemy," he said quietly. The human nodded. "And you're the last mistake we're here to clean." Suddenly, the ground split open. From below, dozens of mindless machines crawled up, their limbs sharper, faster, their eyes red and glowing. They weren't wild anymore. They were being controlled. Jaden turned to run, but the sky shattered like glass above him. The burning light collapsed, and a storm of static fell around them. "Eli," Jaden shouted, shielding him. "We have to go now." But the silver cube floated from Jaden's hand, rising between them and the masked enemies. It spun faster, brighter, and began to speak. System override, catalyst signal spreading, emotion protocols unlocking, core awakening in progress. The masked human shouted, "Stop it! Shut it down now." But it was too late. From the ground behind them, something huge rose. Not a machine, not a building, but a living system. A being made of energy and code, shaped like a star wrapped in armor. Jaden stared in awe. "What is that?" Eli whispered. "The core of memory. The thing your people built before the fall." The core looked at Jaden. No eyes, no mouth, but somehow it saw him. And in his mind, it spoke. "They feared you, because they couldn't program you. They feared your love, your pain, your chaos. But now they remember." Jaden felt power run through him. Not strength, but memory. Every emotion he had ever hidden, every loss, every moment of fear, all of it came alive. And the mindless stopped. They turned, not to fight, but to watch. The war hadn't started again, but something worse was coming. The truth. The key to peace. Everything stopped. The wind. The machines. Even time itself felt like it was holding its breath. Jaden stood in the middle of the battlefield, but no one was moving. The mindless were frozen, their glowing red eyes dim. The masked humans, the architects, stood still with their weapons raised. Even Eli wasn't breathing. Only the core of memory pulsed softly in the air, silent, watching, waiting. Jaden felt warmth in his chest. Not fire, not energy, something deeper. The cube floated again, but this time, it was different. It wasn't silver anymore. It was made of glass. And inside it, Jaden saw his mother. Not in a memory, but in a moment. She was holding him when he was a baby, laughing, crying, alive. Jaden reached for the cube, and the second he touched it, the silence broke. The core spoke, not in a voice, but in feeling. "You carry the weight of what was lost. You are the key." The masked architect shouted. "Don't let him finish the transfer." The mindless began to move again, but not to attack. They were shaking, stepping back, like something inside them was breaking apart. The core shifted its light toward Jaden. A beam of soft white surrounded him. His body rose slowly into the air. "Jaden!" Eli shouted, reaching up. But he couldn't reach him. Jaden didn't fight it. He closed his eyes and let go. He let the grief rise. The pain of losing his parents. The fear he carried every day. The guilt of never feeling strong enough. The love he had for the people who tried, who stayed, who didn't give up. And then, he shared it. All of it. The cube shattered in his hand. Light shot across the battlefield like a wave. But it wasn't fire. It was memory. And everywhere it touched, machines changed. The mindless dropped to their knees. Their red lights turning gold. Not dead, but awake. The architects screamed. They tried to run. Tried to hide behind their armor. But their weapons shut down. Their ships stopped moving. Jaden landed softly on the ground again. Eli ran to him, tears in his eyes. "You did it," he whispered. The core spoke one last time. "The war is over, not because we destroyed, but because we remembered." Jaden looked around. The battlefield had become quiet again, but now it was peace, not fear. The alien mother appeared at the edge of the horizon, walking slowly. She had survived, and she was smiling. She looked at Jaden and nodded. "You did what we could not," she said. "You turned emotion into power." Jaden looked at Eli, then at the mindless. They were helping each other stand. Confused, unsure, but no longer violent. The core began to fade, its light rising toward the sky like stars returning home. Jaden felt the last of the energy leave his body. He dropped to his knees, not in pain, but because it was done. A voice echoed across the sky, not mechanical. A message, clear, strong, human. To all worlds, the echo has awakened. The catalyst has returned. The war is over. Jaden stood slowly. Eli took his hand. Together, they looked up, and for the first time, the sky was clear.